All right, so hey, I pulled up your drawing, and here's the first thing that I did. And so I do this, have to do this quite frequently because I put components inside of groups, and then sometimes I'll put those groups inside of other groups, and sometimes you just kind of forget what it really is. So what I'll do is I click on, like I'm clicking on this one, then my tray auto hides, so sometimes it's distracting, but I like the space. Well, because I clicked on that, it showed me that that is a solid component. There's one of them in the model, and you called it leg number 4. Now, if I do that to this one here, then you have a back top rail, and then there's one in the model. But if you go down to here and you click on it, first of all, you can see the dots. So I'm going to hit zoom in. You can see the little dots, but when I click on that and I go up to that, it's basically showing the face of something rather than any kind of component. So as far as how to fix that, I really want to make it a component. So one way to do that, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to hide that. Okay, that's hidden. That one is also, I think, just a face. It looks like it. Yep, that's just a face. So you got that one kind of screwed up. What is that? That looks like some sort of doll or something. A jail bar? Jail bar. Hey, this is a crib. Anyhow, so I'm just going to hide stuff to get them out of the way so that, because I want to maybe have to jockey around. What do we have here? You have another version of it. Yep, that's a group, it looks like. So what is that? Let's find out what that is. Okay, so now it's showing that one and this one, and I go up there and I click on that, and that's a component. Okay, so it really, to me, it shouldn't be a component because that's two separate boards. Like when you're building it and you're in the shop, this is one board and this is another board, and you don't really take a piece of plywood and cut that out typically. So I want to try to nope, that's going to botch that up. Let me just think about this for a second. Okay, so it looks like maybe you made a copy of that. So I'm just going to, again, click on that and I'm going to hide that. And then I'm going to keep on cleaning up the background so that it looks like a component, and it is. It's called front top rail. So that one you're okay on. So I'm going to hide that. This one down here is bottom rail front, so I'm going to hide that. And then this one I'm suspicious of. That one, it looks like there's a big group there. Yeah, you've got something else like a mattress or something. So I'm clicked on that, and let's just see what that is. Yep, that's a group. That's your mattress frame group. So personally, here's what I would do. I would delete the dimensioning that you did on that right away, because I never put dimensions on the drawing itself. It gets too confusing. And then if you start doing stuff to the, like creating components or making a group, then you start to lose your dimension. So you got a dimension hanging in there somewhere. I'm going to try to find that. It'll show up eventually. There it is. See that little guy? Oh well, we'll try to get rid of him. But what is that? Is that a component? And it is. That's the mattress. So I'm going to do a Control-C, delete. I want to get it out of that group. Now I'm going to do an edit, paste in place. So it's still there, but now it's its own item. I can put it off to the side. Again, now I found that dimension that I was trying to get rid of, so I'm going to delete that. And then I still have this group. So what is that? Let's see what that is. That is a mattress slat, and then is that the same thing? Yep. Okay. So the slats, I'm going to select from right to left, and I'm going to say make that a group because it's a group of components. And then I'm going to do a Control-C to copy it into RAM, delete, and it's supposedly gone, but now I'm out here somewhere, totally out of all my groups. Right click, I can't right click. I'm going to do edit, paste in place. So now I have a group of components, and then let's see what this is. This is a rail. That is a mattress frame, and again, the only recommendation I'd have here is, because that's really two separate boards right here, I would not make that a component, because that's not the way you buy wood. You buy wood in boards. So I would take that and And this is going to be a tricky one. I'll see if I can do this. I want to go into that mode, X-ray. I want to get really close in there. And I think, let me see if I can do this. Drum roll. I'm going to select that whole thing, Control C, delete. Nope, that didn't do it. So let me just fix it. I won't bother. Okay, so sometimes things get kind of hard to fix, so I'm just going to basically make a new one. So I am going to go up and get my rectangle, and I'm just going to replicate that right there. It's 1.5 inches by 2 3/4. I'm going to select just that little surface. I'm going to move that out of here so it doesn't pick up other stuff behind it. I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to make that a component, and I'm going to call that rail inner. You'll figure it out later. And then I'm going to put it kind of back where it was. I'll put it right there. In fact, I'm going to make it a color so that it's easier to keep it separate from the rest of the stuff. Let's just make it look like, well, this will be ugly wood, but we'll use that. Okay, so now it's going to be easier to identify, and I'm going to put it where you had it, right in there. And actually, before I do that, I need to get rid of the one that I don't want. So I'm just clicking on the lines that made that thing up, and we're going to get rid of it completely. I may have to remake the other part, but I just assume not, since it has holes in it. Okay, so everything looks good except we lost a line here, so we have to send in the repair guy. And what he's going to do is he's going to make a line that goes from here to there, and sure enough, it fixed it. How about that? And then, so there we go. And now that, I would make a component, okay? Or is it already? Let's just see if it, nope. Okay, if that's a component, then we're okay to go. We've got a component, and it's a mattress frame, and I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it dash outer. That's good enough. So now it's mattress frame outer. The other thing is, it's going to help me anyhow, is I'm going to delete these later, but for right now I'm just going to start naming them, or placing what their component name is. Come on. So I'm going to use that. Just there, I've got rail inner. We have these guys, and those are whatever they are. Those are mattress slats. I got this guy, and that is a mattress. Okay. Then when I click right on any of those things, again, I'm getting this group, and it's grouping in like this stuff down here, up here. So I'm gonna explode that group, because we're going to group it, but we're going to do it later. Okay, so now we have individual items. Now this guy here, that's a duplicate of the other rail. So now let's put this rail inner back where it's going to go. It's going to go right in there. And then to set the length on it, all I'm going to do is double click on it. I want to push it just anywhere on the end of that thing, and now we have what we need. I want to give that thing a color so that I can start to remember these parts. This one here, I'll give a color, but that'll be wood. That'll be cherry. All right. Now it helps me to distinguish between that and this guy here, which is still just surfaces. There's no group or anything to it. So I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to take this guy and this guy. Now that to me should be a group, the two of them together. So we have a component here, which is the inner, and then we have the outer. And then to me, that would be a group because you're going to probably glue that. And so I'm going to Control M it over here. And then I am going to right click on it, and I'm going to say flip on, and I think it was green. Yep, it's green. So now we have, I should have made a group first. So Control Z. Okay, so there, I'm going to shift and hold that. So both of them are selected. Group. So now we have a group. Now, when I send them over, and you can see the green line show up. So that would be flip along green. And so now that they're gonna look like they belong there, I can actually take those, since we're that far, I'm gonna M them and bring them down. Because you already had positioned this one here, before I get rid of that, I'm gonna find that spot so I don't have to reposition. So I'm gonna use my dotted line and a dotted line. Okay, so now I have something to mark it. Whoops, you can see you can see the issue there. I accidentally hit the P and it started doing some stuff. We're going to fix that in a second. Again, you can see how the dimensions are starting to get in the way, so I'm going to get rid of that dimension. You got another one down here. Get rid of that. Let's just see what else I can get rid of. Okay, so earlier I hid some things that were correct. You had a post right in here. I kind of know it's there, so I'm going to go to View, Hidden Objects. That way I can see, yep, there it is. And I'm going to unhide that. So now I have that one back. Okay, now again, that we know is okay, but this one looks just like it, feels just like it, but it's actually not. Okay, so I have to kind of still somehow get in there and clean those up. Okay, so this one's going to be a little hard to clean up because it's a whole bunch of components. So I'm going to select from right to left, not left to right, but left to right, or excuse me, right to left. That way I was able to get rid of at least some of that. And then there's some residue down here. I think I'm going to have to, that one looks good. Okay, and then does that have holes in it? Nope, it doesn't have the holes in the top. So let's just see if we can salvage. Nope, I think we're going to have to do something there. So this guy, that guy we can hide. This guy is, again, if I go up here, that's going to be like a surface. It's a face, it's not anything. So if I go up on top of it and I right select, I'm going to get rid of a bunch of stuff, and I've deleted it, get rid of my dimension, deleted, edit. I don't want those lines out there anymore. Delete the guy. Oh, I do want those. So Control Z, because I need those in a few seconds. Let's just see where else we're at. Okay, so again, what I'm going to try to do is salvage this pink thing right here. It's not a component, but you seem like you've got a lot of work into it. So I'm just going to keep on getting rid of stuff that's going to screw me up later. So I'm deleting that. Nope, you can see all this stuff there. You have, like, there were certain parts that weren't components and weren't part of a group, and so they just basically started messing with each other. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Let me just see what you have here for holes. Okay, so if I come out here and I do my crosshairs 2 and 23/64, wow. That one is 5 and 13/32. I don't know if you had something in mind there. So why don't we do this? It looks like you're shooting for some sort of standard in the baby crib business. And my guess is it's 3 inches center to center, which gives you like 2.5 inches or something in between. So let's do this. Since that thing is not usable anyhow, but the other one was, I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to delete some other stuff down there. Let's see here once. Okay, so let's at least do this. Let's get these two in position. So I've selected both of them. Then I'm going to M them over. I'm grabbing that corner. I'm zooming in to get just the right spot. And then I'm placing it right there. There. Now that one's good. And I brought them over as 2 separate units. So right now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to click on just that one. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring it over. And you may have to find the spot for this at some point. Let's see what you got. You got 1 inch. Okay, so I'll just stick with that. T 1 inch, bring it over 1 inch. So theoretically, those are in the correct spot. And then because they're components, if I go to select this now, I'm not going to damage those guys anymore. I'm just going to get rid of that. And we're going to start to get rid of stuff and then use the good stuff. Okay, then as I'm circling around, after a while you start to, like, where am I, right? So I have to find myself, and I want to get a position that I like. Let's just take zoom. Okay, and then I'm going to create a scene so that if I start getting discombobulated, then I'm good to go. I can come back to that. So I'm going to go to scenes, I'm going to say new, and we basically now I have my scene up here, so if I get twisted around, then all I have to do is click on scene and then it comes right back to where we want to go. Okay, again, this guy was good. This guy I don't think is. Nope, that's a bad one. So again, I'm going to get rid of him. Delete. Now we can use this guy, and since we know he's okay, let's just give him a color. So I'm going to make him, I'll just use the same wood. I'll just use that. Okay, so we got that. Now we can take him. We still have those dotted lines there kind of helping us out. So I'm going to move him. Oop, now you have parts of him that aren't a group. Yeah, wow. Okay, so I figured it out. That was my bad. I double clicked too fast and I ended up pulling some stuff apart. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him now and send him over to the same other end. Brought him over there, had a green line, so I'm going to flip on green. Green. Now he's in position, kinda, and I think it was 1 inch in, so let's just stick with that. Is that correct? You have T from here to here is 1. That's kind of looking right. So you got that. Let's see, what's this guy? Ah, how about that? That's usable. And I'm not sure where he goes though. You're going to have to position that one. I'm not sure what you're doing there. That one is doable. Let's just see where we're at. Edit, unhide, all. Okay, now we're seeing what we've got and what we don't have. This guy, again, is no good, but this guy was, I think, over here. And I'm assuming it's the same shape. Let's just see. Is it the same shape? Drum roll. It is. Okay. So that's the same shape. So I'm going to use him. I'm going to get rid of this guy completely so I don't, well, actually we can just get rid of all this now because we don't need him anymore at all. So I'm just going to get in a good position. I can just dump him. So he's gone. He's history. Then your holes were 2 or something. I forgot what the dimension was, but you've got T from there to there is 25¼ inches. Okay, so if you're going to position a bunch of holes, then I would personally, I would take, this is the way I do stair systems, little that, and then I'm going to draw a line out here, but it's exact same there. And then I'm going to click on that line, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say divide. And then I'm just going to jockey around till I get a, and down at the bottom it tells me it's dividing it, or there are 8 segments at 3 and 5/32. So let's just take that and go with it. So now I have different segments in there, they're all the same, so I'm going to get rid of all of them but one. I move over to here to that end, and then I'm going to take this, I'm going to do a Control M, and I'm going to move it to that, but I'm going to move it like 12 times, so 12x, enter. So now I have, you just forget about those there, but now I at least know where my hole centers are. And then I'm going to zoom into one, I'm going to double, now there's your component, right? You got the whole thing, but I'm going to double click on it so I expose just that surface. I can't remember what the dimensions or the diameter or the radius of that hole was, but I'm going to assume it's like a 3/4. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to say 3/8, which is the radius. All right, and then this thing, if I noticed you didn't have any kind of crosshairs, but this really helps a lot, and does me anyhow. So I make crosshairs in it, and that way I always know where the center of the hole is. I'm not going to punch those holes down yet into push and pull. Instead, I'm going to select it. I'm going to M over to that one right there, and then I'm going to say, hold on, let's get a view of this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes. I need more, so a total of 7. We got this one. So M, I'm going to grab the crosshairs, I'm going to drag it over to this guy, and then I'm going to say 7x. Oops, I think I shouldn't have done that. Nope, I don't want this guy over here. So Control Z, let's try that again. Zoom, M, and then we have 6x, 6 times. Now we have 6 holes, and then I'm not sure how deep you made those. I am just going to make them, I'm going to say 1 inch, so I'm going to pull that down. Let's just color this thing first. Control Z, let's make a color for the whole thing. There we go. Okay, let's make it whatever color we had before. Okay, so now we have that. Now what I like to do is make those holes a little different color. I won't do it. Okay, so P, and I'm going to go down 1, enter. Now that I have that, I can double click on that one, does it the same. Go over here, double click, double click, double click. P, double click, double click. So now they're all the same distance. Let's just see where we're at again. Now I'm going to go up to here and click on scene. You can see what we got going there. So edit, delete guides, because I don't need those anymore. Now I still have this guy that I used just for reference. I got rid of him. Bring him over. I'm going to M him over there. I'm not quite sure where you, oh, I know where you had him. Well, and by the way, if you noticed, this is why I do components, because that other one that we had before that we stole from, well, now it's been colorized, plus all the holes are in it, and so the two match. So if you decide that you're going to change this color to red, then, and I have a hard time understanding why a lot of people don't use components, they use groups instead. I never did figure that out, but you can, that way you're going to, if you have something that's the same, then when you change one, you change them all. So I am going to line him up. So I'm going to make a dotted line there, a guide, and then that should bring me down to, I'm going to find it. Okay, so it looks like I'm going over to, oops, again, I'm starting to get discombobulated again, right? First of all, while I'm out here, I'm going to get rid of that, so because that's in the background, but I'm going to click on scene, and that's automatically getting me back into perspective. So it looked like, based on this one here, you're putting that down at the bottom here, right where that miter is going to be, that, yeah, right there. Okay, now you got something going on there that I would get nervous about as well. I don't know if this is, nope, see, that's not a component either. That's going to cause you some trouble. So let's just take and fix this end first. Okay, we're going to grab that guy and we're going to put him down, I think, where you wanted him, which is right there. All right, so this guy looks like she's okay. Now I'm seeing that it's longer than before. Okay, because you can see this guy actually goes into that post. So I'm just going to move the post out to there. Oops. I want to move the post, but I'm also going to move the rail that go with it. Might as well move them at the same time. So I'm Control M over there. Now that's starting to look decent. Let's just see what we have here. Up. How about that? A component, I betcha. Let's just check. And up, that's the top side rail left number 1. So let's make it look nice. We'll go ahead and we'll make it the same color that we had before. Okay, now it's not taking a color. Okay, so I'm going to a color that we had selected before there. Now it's taking it. Okay, so now we have that guy all set to go. So let's start getting rid of, again, another piece that we don't need. We'll get rid of him. Now that guy you can't really get rid of in one fell swoop, because it's, you can see it's different surfaces. There's a surface there, there's no grouping there, and or no, so I'm just going to go down. I do want to save that because I think that's salvageable. Then we have that little post. Let me just see where I'm at. Okay, so that right there is a component that, so I'm going to move him out. We'll put him back. That guy is a component, so we'll move him out. This guy here is salvageable. This guy here is salvageable, but I'm going to borrow, I'm going to fix it all on one end, and then I'm going to move the whole thing. So we have, and that guy is salvageable. So let's give that guy a color. We'll just give him the same color. Okay, so we've got that. And then put them in the same spot on the other post. So like this is a component right here, but I'm assuming that you're going to fasten this to that, so that wouldn't be a bad place to make a group. So I'm going to do that guy and that guy, right click, make a group. To me, that's a good group. This guy over here is still a component, so I am going to take our group, oops, Control Z, I am going to Control M him over there, put him in position, then I'm going to click there, and I'm going to hit delete, which I deleted that individual post, but this guy is still backwards, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to flip along green, and so now he's in the same position, I think, as the other guy. They look and feel like it. Yep. Now we have this guy, so let's go ahead and let's give him a color. We'll give him a different color. I'm going home. Ooh, you have lots of colors out there. I'll pick I'll pick ugly green. They're pressure treated. Now, at least we know which one he is, right? So then I'm going to Control M him over there, and I do want to flip him on green. It doesn't look like you need it, but I'm going to flip it because if you decide to change this one later, then this one's going to go in the wrong direction, the thickness. So by flipping him, flip along green. That way now if you decide to change this from 1.5 inches to 1.25 inches, then they're going to go in the same direction, in towards the middle. Okay, so now we've got that guy. Let's just see where we're at. And I've got a lot of work into it here, so I do want to do a file. I save as, you called it baby crib FB1. I am going to call it baby crib, and then I'm going to give it 24, which is the year, dash. The month is 01, not 1 but 01. You can tell why when you get up to 9 and 10. Dash 25, which is today's date. Dash 01, which is the version. So that's my name, my whatever you call it, something closure, nomenclature, you know what I mean, for naming files. Anyhow, so we've got that. Now we're going to cheat. I'm going to get rid of him. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to edit, delete guides, so we have a nice clean slate. I'm looking like I want to look. I've got an individual component there, a component here, and so I am going to think like a woodworker right now. And we already made that a group. We made that a group because they're probably going to be glued together. I don't know what you're using for your joinery right here, but anyhow, you've got that. So there's a component there. I'm clicking on that as a component, and then I'm clicking on this, and I'm clicking on this, and now that I'm going to right click on, and that I'm going to make a group. So it's just going to be a lot easier to handle things in a second. So then I am going to grab that group, and I'm going to grab a corner, and I'm going to drag it. Now I've got my red line showing up, so I'm going to drag it anywhere. Right click on it. I'm going to flip that along red, so it basically repositioned them in the opposite direction. And then I am going to put this guy, grab him in the corner, put it right there, which looks and feels pretty much the same. Yep. Okay, it's the same. Again, I don't know what you're using for joinery there. You've got that. What do we have left yet? Okay, so I think you had this. I can't remember where you had that. I should have paid closer attention. Is it in there? Yeah, it kind of looks like it, huh? So if I put that in position and drag it in there, let's just see the other end. Is it okay? It is. How about that? And then I'm not sure where this thing was. So I'm going to leave that for you to put back. I don't know where that was. Okay, so I'll put that right next to it here. And then for safekeeping. And then all right, sometimes they're hard to get at. So if I just go down to where I want, I go into X-ray mode. What I want to do is I'm going to grab that corner up there. on the other side where you can't get at it otherwise. I'm going to tuck that in there right through X-ray mode. Beauteous. Okay, out of X-ray mode, and then you're going to have to replicate this guy and put him over on the other side. But let's just go ahead and make that a group right away. And that way, so I'm going to say make a group, and I'll put it over on the other side as well. And then you may have to switch that around. And so Control M, I'm bringing it over, and it's going there. But remember, it's a reversed version of it. So I'm going to right click in that. I'm going to flip it on green. All right, and then I think it was outside, not inside, and so I put it right there. So again, wasn't sure where these little boards go, but you get the idea. Let's just see where we're at now. I'm going to go up to scenes. All right, we're getting there. All right, I'm going to left select rather. I like putting everything on the axis, on the origin. So I'm going to put that onto the origin, or it should be. And then let's go ahead and bring the mattress down. So I'm going to get rid of the words. Again, those are going to, no, Control Z. Because I went to get rid of that word, but it was actually inside the group. I deleted the whole group. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so let's just go here, and I'll bring that down. So I'm emming that down. Again, the 3D is so fun. It's in there somewhere, and I don't know where you have that, but probably going to sit. Yeah, probably going to sit on that ledge. So I'm going to hide that so I can see it. I'm going to hide that. Nope, can't hide. Yeah, I can hide that. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to grab my group again, and I'm going to grab a corner of it. I'm going to put it right there. So now it kind of knows where approximately it wants to go. And then I'm going to grab the group again down there and put it up on the lip where it probably is going to go. And then let's just see. Again, I need to get at something that you can't get at otherwise. So I'm going to go into X-ray mode, and I'm selecting that group. Now I'm going to find that corner right there, and I'm going to drag it over to that edge. And then I can see there's a little corner right here where I think I want it to go. Let's just see. And now I'll take it out of X-ray. Is it in position? It sure looks like it. Man, this bed's almost done. I'm going to want to take a nap soon. Now you may need to position that because there's a space here. I don't know if you centered it somehow. Actually, I got the group there. So let's just do that. We've got T. So let's find the center of that side rail right there. Just a suggestion. I don't know, if you do a lot of woodworking, but I would try to stick with dimensions that are much easier to catch on a tape measure. So like this one right here is, 51 and 1/8. If you change it to 51 or 52 or something like that, just everything will tend to go a lot easier. Wherever you can, then at some point you're just not going to be able to do that any longer. But then let's go back to scene again, so it kind of remembers what we've got. I'm going to zoom out. We've still got a mattress, so I'm going to grab him and bring him down. I'm orbiting and all that kind of stuff. Let's put him about where it's going to go. So I'm going to grab him, put him down there so he kind of knows about where he's going to end up. Now this is in the way, so I'm going to hide that. So I'm going to grab the mattress. I'm going to put it on top of the boards, which is right there. And then I'm going to, I don't know if that's the same size as the boards. I changed the width. If you recall, I had to add a little bit to the distance between those posts because something wasn't coming out right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this first. Okay, so I fixed that. Now, because those are components, if I change one, I'm going to change them all. So I'm going to go on this surface right here. I'm going to hit the P for push-pull, and I'm going to pull it right to anywhere on this line right here. It'll automatically find it. And so all of them now are flush to that side. I'm going to bring my mattress back by Edit, Unhide, Last. The mattress is now back. And I'm going to grab a corner of him, put him where he belongs. Now you can see he's too wide. Again, you're going to have to tweak these things, but it looks like you know what you're doing there. So I'm going to just push him in position for now. And then let's bring back, I'm going to go back to Scene. And again, the only thing that's confusing for me, because I don't know how you had this laid out, I don't know where this little board here goes, so you'll have to tweak that. Edit, delete guides. Let's go to Scene. We've got that. Okay, so I did an Edit, Unhide All. Let's see what's else there still. So that was older. We can get rid of that. That was older. We can get rid of that. Now we have your I love what you titled those. What did you call them? Jail cells? Jail bars. Wow. Okay, so, and if you don't already do this, this will be worth the price of admission. But let's just go in here. Let's go to the bottom of one of those. Getting in a good position. All right, I'm going to use my T, which is the tape measure, right? I'm clicking on there. And you have 5/8, that's fine. Okay, so and I've got that, right? Now I'm going to take another one and run it straight across, make sure I have 5/8, not a fraction of. Now I double click on that, so I opened it up as a component, inside of a component, hit L for line. I make a line there, escape, a line there, escape, and you can see it added it already over here, right? So let's get rid of him. Now, Edit, delete guides so they don't confuse us. Now we have, let's get ourselves in a good position here. So let's get him down closer to where he belongs, which is right in there somewhere. Now I'm going to hide things that are going to distract us because I'm going to go in X-ray mode. So I'm going to hide him. I'm going to hide that guy. This guy I think is an extra. That was an extra. Okay, so then we still have this guy hanging out there. So we have only one of those jail cell things. So I'm going to get into a good position. I'm going to orbit around. I'm going to click on him. Now I'm going to go into X-ray mode. Now you can see where this all comes together with the crosshairs. So M for move. I'm finding that crosshair, the center of that crosshair, and I'm in X-ray mode. So if I go over there, bingo, there he is. And if you noticed, I put the crosshairs in opposite directions, so they're not confusing. This way it really lets you know where they are. Now we have what, 1 2 3 4 5 6 more of those. So if I go over here, zooming in again, still in X-ray mode, I still have this guy selected. M, click on the center, Control, drag him over, put him on where I want it. He's there. Now I say 6X, and guess what? 6 of them. How about that? Now those look like they're too short. So, and then I'm not sure if this up here, this is the reverse of this, right? So I'll let you do those circles, but a little hint there is the way I would do them. I'd get out of X-ray mode. Now this I would definitely make a group because that'll be confusing later. Make a group. Okay, now I can hide that group. Now to get those holes in exactly the same spot, it's a couple of different ways to do that, but one is to do this. I'm just going to borrow a straight line from over there, go right in there, and then it should come up right through where we want it. Yep. So then I do a T to that spot. Again, there's some oddball dimensions there that I'm having trouble with. Again, I'm borrowing from somewhere else. It's not finding it. Okay, so I'm having a little trouble with that method of doing that. So I'm going to take those two pieces, click on them, select them, and I'm going to shift, Control C, Control M them over. So I left them where they are, but I made copies of them. Now I'm going to take this guy and I'm just going to drag him down over the top of the other one. And then line them up exactly where they're going. And then just to look at them, I want to see X-ray. And they're looking pretty good. All right. Now I'm zooming in. I'm going to borrow a straight line for T. Now get rid of this guy. I'm going to delete him because I know where my center lines are, my center points. Now zoom in. I'm going to make crosshairs again later. So I'm kind of getting myself in a position to do that. I'm going to double click on that, hit C for circle, and you were 5/8, I believe, so which is 5/16, which is the radius. Again, I want crosshairs, so I want to put a crosshair in there. Crosshair. Now, if I select that, I'm going to be able to move it. But just in case there's something behind it that I'm accidentally selecting, I'm going to go into X-ray. Like if I were, right in this position here, and I did that, I might accidentally select something behind it. That's the downside of doing it that way, but we're safe. So now I'm going to M, Control over to that. So we got our distance, which again is 3 and 5/32, and then I'm going to say 6x. So we now have 6 of those. I'll leave you to punch the holes, but if you recall, all I'm going to do is, again, I don't know what your depth is, but I'm going to pick 1, and I'm going to say push 1, enter. So now we have that, and if I went over here inside that hole, you know what? Let's just double check. I don't think I picked up. Something's not right there. I think what's going on is I think this piece is out of order. Because when I copied that, and this might have been part of the problem. Those are not, like when I go to this one right here, the little dots show, right? But when I do it here, they don't. So I'm going to Control Z to get rid of all of those. Let's just check and see if it was user error. It could have been. M, and I go over to there. M. Yeah, something's not right there. See that? It should be doing like this instead of that. So I think what's going on here is there's a crooked line or crooked surface. So I'm going to Control Z that. And what we'll do is we'll try to fix that surface. So I'm going to edit, delete guides, because some of those guides are probably crooked because I use something reference them. So I'm going to start anew. So I'm going to hit T. I'm going to go down to the green axis. I'm going to bring it up here. And then I put it on that surface. And again, I think that surface is damaged because, yep, let's just see. Okay, I think we're okay now. Now if I measure from here to here, I get 63/64, and I measure from there to there, I get, so I think we're okay. Something's going on there with that thing, and I don't know what it is. So what I am going to do is make a new one. Otherwise, I think you might have some problems. So you had, from there to there, you had 4 inches. So I'm going to come up 4 inches, 4, enter. From there to there, 25 1/4. Okay, so let's just take, again, whenever I start anything new, I want to work off the axis. So I got the blue one over here. I go to there, and what was that again? That was 25 1/4. Again, we're making a brand new one, so 25 1/4, 0.25. Again, we don't have to worry then that it's corrupted. So now I've got that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a rectangle. And I don't like the looks of that. There's my 4. Let's try this again with the rectangle. Okay, now we're good to go. Now I have a nice clean headboard thing, whatever you're going to call them. Right click, make it a component, we'll call it a headboard. Enter or create. And what's your thickness? I think it's 1.5 inches. Yep, you're 1.5 inches. So I'm going to double click on that, push pull 1.5, enter. So now I have that. And then I don't know how you came up with that shape. I'm going to let you handle that part of it. Why don't I just go up? You have a total height of, let's just call it 6. So I want to go up 2 more inches, 2, enter. And then I'll let you fix that. So I'm going to get rid of that because I think it's corrupted. And take this guy and put it up there in his place. And we were making holes, weren't we? Control Z. So let's just make holes again. All right. So I made my, I borrowed from the other piece over there, right, with the X-ray, and I made a dotted line. Now I can get rid of him. But I have my location for the holes on the bottom of that headboard. Again, I want to have crosshairs, so I'm going to grab them from elsewhere. I'm feeling better about this. Circle 5/16, enter. Zoom in a little bit to make my crosshairs. L for line, line, escape, line, escape. Now let's see what happens if I do this. So if I select him, I forgot what that distance was, darn it. Okay, so I have him selected. M, Control, bring him over to where he belongs. 6x. Come on. 6x. There we go. Okay, now we have our holes. All right, now I think there's still something out there, so I'm going to do a view hidden objects. Yep, I had borrowed something earlier, so I'm going to get rid of him. I have all kinds of stuff going on. I got edit. I want to get out of view hidden objects so I don't see all this stuff. Edit, delete guides. And then I'm going to put him in the same position that the old one was. So I'm going to bring him up. I'm grabbing a corner, put him close to where it needs to go. Orbit. putting it right in the same position. And now you can see, again, I think that headboard was corrupted. So I'm going to get rid of him. I'm going to do Control C, delete. I'm going to go inside that group and I'm going to delete the bad headboard. But I'm going to edit, paste in place, which was that white one. I'll let you color that and everything else. And then we still have the corrupted one, I think, over here. So now let's just bring that whole group over there. So I'm just going to get rid of that. This is the way I would normally do beds and things like that. It's just once you got them grouped, sometimes it's easier to just run the whole thing over. So I'm going to make that whole group, drag them over, get them, keeping it on that axis, the red axis. Right click, flip along, and that was red. Yep. So then I got there, and I'm going to put him where he belongs. And I think we're getting pretty close. I'm going to go back to scene, edit, or file, save as, because again we got a lot of work into this. And I'm going to change that 01 to 2. So now my file name is the year, the month, the day, but it's the second version of it. We're missing a peg right here. Let's just see, edit, unhide all. There he is. He was hidden, that's all. And then for this, the length on these things, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go up 1 inch, 1, enter. And then I'm going to grab any one of these and I'm going to push pull up to that line. And then now they are inside that headboard. And if you don't believe me, we can look there. And it looks like there's a little bit out of line. And I think that would probably be good for you to, if you're that far, to basically align those. And the way you would end up doing that is, again, this is where X-ray comes in pretty handy. That maybe they're aligned, I don't know. You'll have to, no, they look like they actually might be, no, they're a little skewed. So I think that your headboard might have been off a little bit, or I moved it on you accidentally, but you got the idea, right? Edit, delete guides, scene to see where we're at. We got everything there. And the only other thing I would suggest is, okay, that is a group. I would say that we make the mattress fit. So I'm going to do push pull, and I'm going to push pull that to, so P, I'll pull it out there first, or push it, then I'll pull it right to that edge there. So now that fits there. You'll have to, you get your corners here, you'll have to jockey that around a little bit, but anyways, I think you're in good shape now. But I am going to go with the scene. Now I'm going to remove or hide the mattress. Hide. I'm going to hide the bed, or hide the boards, and then we'll just kind of say, all right, this is the board without a mattress. This is kind of like a shot of it, and we'll say that's our new scene. Oops. Hide. That was an accident. Hide. By the way, that thing disappeared again. So edit, unhide all. Okay, now I'm going to save my scene because it saved it with that hidden. No, I won't do that anymore. Now, those are a group, are they? And again, I would suggest that we make them part of this whole headboard. So Control C, I'm selecting this, all those posts, those jail cells, I'm going to delete, but I'm going to click on this, which is already a group. I'm going to double click to get inside of it. Now I'm going to edit, paste in place. Now they're in the same position, but now they're also part of that group. So if I hide it, they all go away. But more importantly, I don't have my posts over here yet, or my pegs, or whatever you call them. So I'm going to get rid of that again, and I'm going to bring this group over. That way, the two are always exactly the same. And drag it over, flip on red. Now I'm going to grab that corner, really got out of whack there, which is fine. Okay. Z for zoom, M for move. There we go. All right, guys. There's that scene. So I want to save that. Update. Now I'm going to add that mattress back. So edit, unhide all. So let's hide the mattress, but we'll have the boards in the bottom. We'll make that a scene. And we'll call it boards. And then we'll add the mattress back. So edit, unhide all. So now we have the mattress, but just for fun, let's go around from the other angle. Create a new scene. This is basically with the mattress. Enter. All right, so now we have 3 scenes. We have scene 1, and might as well rename that. Rename, and then we'll call it no boards, no board, no mattress. Enter. All right, so we've got that scene. We've got that scene. We've got that scene. And then last but not least, it always bugs me when I see things I don't want to see. If we, okay, because it has the gray background and it has some other stuff going on, I'm going to go over to styles, and this one right here, I like construction documentation, because it changes it to white. And then I'm going to do edit, view, and I'm going to unclick axis. So now we got rid of our axes. All right, and then now I'm going to save the mattress one as update, and theoretically it's going to save it to that. So now we're back to the gray background when I click on those other ones with axes, but when I click on the mattress one, yeah, now it changed it to white. It's still showing the axes, but that one I'll have to, let's save that for another day. Anyhow, so there you go. Hopefully this kind of got things going where you want it, and have fun, and I don't know, baby on the way or something like that maybe. But anyways, good luck to you.